is what? Is x and y. And here we know this is going to be 10 to the power of 0, and this 10 to the power of 1. So we can say, therefore, the place value of 1, the value of 1 is x, 10x plus y. That is the place value. And if you subtract, and the second value, the second number value is going to be yx. We have reversed the digits, yx. So this becomes our 10 to the power of 0, and this becomes our 10 to the power of 1. Therefore, we can see that here we are going to have 10y plus x. And now we can form the second equation. The second equation says that, let's form the second equation quickly. Let's form the second equation to see how this problem can be solved quickly. Let's form the second equation to see how we can solve that problem very quickly. So the problem is solved by, we can make the second equation. Equation 2 therefore means that if you take the original number, which is 10x plus y, minus the second number formed by reversing the digits, is going to be 10y plus x, you should get 9. When we reverse the difference is 9. So we can try to expand. But basically with those two equations now, if you solve the first equation and the second equation, you will be able, if you solve those equations simultaneously, I don't want to go into that for now, but you can be able to see that it is very easy to solve that problem. We will have two equations. Equation 2, if you simplify it, it will be something like 9x minus 9y. 9x minus 9y is equals to 9. If you divide across, it means that x minus y is equals to 1. So we have two equations which, if we can solve them, if we can solve those two equations, then we can be able to get the answer. We just get two equations by knowing the place value. I don't want to go at this point in time to the solution of those two equations, because we'll have a look at them later. What is very important for us to know at this point is that we can use the laws of finding the place value of a number in any base. Just remember that, and that the place value can be found in the powers of the base. The place value is found in the powers, increasing powers of the base. So starting with 0, depending on the base in which you're counting. Now in our case here, we are dealing with natural numbers, and we want to go back to natural numbers. Now since we are dealing with natural numbers, let's look at a number like this. Let's look at another problem. You have a number, let's talk about rounding off. Rounding off. Rounding off. We have seen the place value, and we know that we are only dealing with whole numbers here. For the time being, we are not going to any other type of numbers. We are dealing with natural numbers, which are positive whole numbers. Now, when we have a number like, given a number like 5349. 5349. Now we know that this point 10 to the power of 0 is to the nearest ones. 10 to the power of 1 is to the nearest tens. 4 is to the nearest tens. This is to the hundreds. 10 to the power of 2. And this is to the thousands. 10 to the power of 3. So if you are to round off to the nearest tens, so we can round off this number. Our problem can be if we round off to the nearest tens, then we'll come to the place where we have the tens, which is 4. Look at the number below it. Is it more or less than 5? If it is more than 5, less than 5, you discard it. If it is more than 5, you convert to 1 and add to that place the rounding off place. So for example, if I round off this number to the nearest, so 5349 becomes 5350. 5350 to the nearest 10. That is how it becomes. If I want to round it off to the nearest 100, I will come to this place and look, the number below it is 4, which is less than 5. So I will discard. So 5349 to the nearest hundreds becomes 5300 to the nearest hundreds. To the nearest hundreds. That's how we round off. Let's look at other operations of, and we can continue like that up to the, we can round off even up to the 1000 place. Okay, let's do something else on the natural numbers. We continue. Now, the next thing that we want to look at, is the issue of operations in whole numbers. If you want to add a number like 157 and you want to add it to a number like 29, you have to arrange your numbers in order of the place values. Don't mix up. In addition, the place value observance is very important, and of course we know how to add this. 7 plus 9 will give us 16. 16, we have an extra 6. We have an extra 6. So we write our remainder is 6 because we have 10. We have fulfilled. We have reached the maximum of the counting place and we have a remainder of 6. So it is 16. We take 6 and we carry 1 ahead. We keep on carrying. It's a question of taking, just like dividing by 10 that place value and taking, leaving the remainder and going on to the next. So the same thing applies. So 16, we carry 1, bring it here, 5 plus 2, 7. We add the 1, we get 8. And therefore the answer, as you can all see, is 186. The answer. If you are subtracting, let's take another problem. Let's take subtraction. If you want to, so this was addition. Let's take subtraction. We have a number like 6 92 minus, we want to minus 477. So here again we arrange according to the place value, and When you come here and you want to subtract 2 from 7, you can't. So you go and borrow from here a 1 to make this 12. And once we make that one 12, then the answer will become, here we'll get 5. Here we are now left with 8, so we get 1, and this becomes 2. Very good. Let's see the next operation, which is a multiplication. The next operation is a multiplication. The next operation is a multiplication.